Hello, and welcome to Storytime with Captain Party. Today we're going to be continuing our book, Chapter 30, with Choke. So here we go. The mommy and the stupid little shit-heel kid, they stopped at a zoo one time. This zoo was so famous, it was surrounded by acres of parking lot. This was in some city that you can drive to, where a line of kids and moms are waiting to get inside with their money. This was after the false alarm at the police station, when the detectives let the little kid go find a bathroom by himself. And outside, parked at the curb, was Mommy, saying, "You want to help liberate the animals?" This was the fourth or fifth time she came back to claim him. This is what the courts would later call reckless abuse of city property. And that day, the mommy's face looked the same as those dogs, where the corner of each eye turns down and too much skin makes the eyes look sleepy. "A damn St. Bernard," she said in the rearview mirror, as she pointed at herself. She'd got a white t-shirt somewhere she'd started wearing that said Troublemaker. It was new, but it already had some nose blood on one sleeve. The other moms and kids all just talked to each other. The line went on for a long time. No police were around that you could see. While they stood, the mommy said, "If you ever want to be the first person to board an airplane, and if you want to travel with your pet, you can do both easy. The airlines have to let crazy people carry their animals on their laps. The government says so." And this was more important information to live by. Waiting in line, she gave him a few envelopes and address labels to stick together, and then she gave him some coupons and letters to fold and put inside. "You just call the airline people," she said, "and tell them you need to bring your comfort animal." That's really what airlines call them. It can be a dog, a monkey, a rabbit, but no way can it be a cat, because the government does not consider a cat as comforting to anybody. "The airline can't ask you to prove that you're crazy," the mommy said, "because that would be discrimination. You wouldn't ask a blind person to prove they were crazy. When you're crazy," she said, "how you look or act is not your fault." The coupon said, "Good for one free meal at the Clover Inn." And she said, "Crazy people and crippled people get first dibs on airline seats, so you and your monkey will be right in the front of the line, no matter how many people are ahead of you." And she twisted her mouth off to one side and sniffed hard through one nostril, and then she twisted the other way and sniffed again. One hand was always around her nose, touching it and rubbing it. She pinched the tip. She smelled underneath her shiny new fingernails. She looked up at the sky and sniffed a drop of blood back in. Crazy people, she said, had all the power. She gave him stamps to lick and stick on the envelopes. The line moved a little at a time, and at the window the mommy said, "Could I get a tissue, please?" And she handed the stamped envelopes into the window and said, "Would you mind mailing these for us?" And inside the zoo were animals behind bars, behind thick plastic, across deep ditches filled with water. And the animals mostly just sprawled on the ground, pulling on themselves between their back legs. "Ah, for crying out loud," the mommy said, too loudly. "You give a wild animal a nice, clean, safe place to live. You give it plenty of good, healthy food," she said, "and this is how it rewards you?" The other moms leaned down to whisper to their kids, and then they pulled them off to go look at the other animals. In front of them, monkeys shook themselves and squirted out spurts of thick white junk. The junk ran down the insides of the plastic windows. Old white junk was already there, splashed out, thin and dried to an almost see-through. "You take away their struggle to survive, and this is what you get," the mommy said. "How porcupines get off," she said, while they watched, "was porcupines hump a stick of wood. The same way a rich witch rides a broom. Porcupines rub the stick until it's stinking and gummy with their pee and the juice from their glands. And after it stinks enough, they'll never leave it for another stick." Still watching the porcupine riding its stick, the mommy said, "It's such a subtle metaphor." And the little boy pictured them letting all the animals loose, and the tigers and the penguins and all of them fighting, the leopards and the rhinos biting each other. The little fuck was really hot about the idea. "The only thing that separates us from the animals," she said, "is that we have pornography." "Just more symbols," she said. She wasn't sure if this made us better than the animals, or worse. Elephants, the mommy said, use their trunks. And spider monkeys can use their tails. And little boy just wanted to see something dangerous go wrong. Masturbation, the mommy said, is their only means of escape. Until us, the boy thought. The sad, tranced-out animals, the cross-eyed bears and gorillas, the otters all hunched over themselves, their glassy little eyes almost closed, almost not breathing, their tired little paws gummy, their eyes all crusty. The dolphins and whales will rub themselves against the smooth sides of their tank, the mommy said, and deer will rub their antlers in the grass until, she said, they orgasm. Right in front of them, a Japanese sun bear tossed its little mess onto the rocks, and then the bear sprawled backwards with its eyes closed, its little puddle left in the sun to die. And the boy whispered, "Is it sad?" "Worse," the mommy said. And she told about a famous killer whale who was in a movie and then got moved to a fancy new aquarium. But he wouldn't stop messing his tank, and the keepers were so embarrassed. This went on so much now that they were trying to set the whale free. Masturbating your way to freedom, the mommy said. Michael Foucault would have loved that. And she said, when a boy and a girl copulate, the head of the boy, when a boy and a girl dog copulate, the head of the boy's penis swells and the vaginal muscles of the girl dogs constrict, and even after sex, both dogs remain locked together, helpless and miserable for a brief period of time. The mommy said, this same scenario describes most marriages. And by then the last remaining mothers had herded their children away, and when the two of them were all alone, the boy whispered, how could they get the keys to set the animals free? And Mommy said, I've got them right here. In front of the monkey cage, the mommy reached into her purse and took out a handful of pills, little round purple pills, and she threw the handful through the bars, and the pills scattered and rolled, and some monkeys crawled down to the look. And for one scary moment, not whispering, the boy said, is it poison? And the mommy laughed. Now that's the idea, she said. But no, honey, we don't want to liberate the little monkeys too much. And the monkeys were crowding now, eating the pills. And the mommy said, relax, kiddo. She dug into her purse and brought out a white tube. The trichloroethane. And this, she said, and put one of the purple pills in her tongue. This is just plain old garden variety LSD. And she pushed the tube of trichloroethane up the side of her nose. Or maybe she didn't. Maybe it wasn't this way at all. Well, that's our chapter for this fine day. We'll see you next time.